key to it, when they finally got a key, when they saw the condition it was in, like it was just something that the average listing agent wouldn't even want to take on. But through a series of a few things, and I'll share, you guys can always go to therock.com/donations and see the story on your own. They ended up getting another investor that came in. They were used to dealing with this kind of property anyways. As you all know, there are slumlords all over the country that would love to take on something like this because they don't have to worry about fixing it up. They just keep getting paid their rent. And Realty Gift Fund did the transaction. I don't remember exactly how much went to the nonprofit world, but the moral of the story is when you have a third-party expert who knows how to handle situations and doesn't pull other nonprofits off their mission. I mean, imagine if a group who's trying to feed veterans got involved with just a dirty piece of property that was infested and gross across the country. But Realty Gift Fund will handle all kinds of stuff. Now, there's another deal in there that you might want to watch around the property in Minnesota that was valued at about $300,000. It was commercial zoned. It was on a lake and a residential area, beautiful area. Now, any other nonprofit, if they had taken it, would have taken it just like it was, sold it, got 300 grand minus any expenses and been happy about it. But because our specialized nonprofits understand real estate, they looked at it, they saw the Google map, they said, wait a minute, look at all these houses around here. Why is this zone commercial? They invested $90,000 and a few months to go to town meetings via phone and Zoom, get it rezoned as residential, 3 commercial lots for 300 turned into 7 residential lots at a value of $700,000. They recouped their $90,000 investment and whatever other expenses they had, and the nonprofit world got twice as much as it ever would have. So these are just some simple stories. It is 1:28. Let's come back at 1:33, and we're going to finish up with why would you want to become a charitable real estate specialist or champion? How can we help you? Go talk to the donors and the nonprofits and the financial advisors. See you in 5 minutes.
Hey, welcome to the room. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to share the links. Hi, Teresa. Hi, Don. Welcome to the room. We're at the tail end of Charitable Gifts of Real Estate. This is the deep dive. I put a YouTube video in there. It's about 2 hours, but it gives you the gist of what we're doing. And we're at, let me take a look. It's all about real estate is hot and fundraising is not. I know, Teresa, I know you do a lot with fundraising. I know that Anna does a lot with fundraising. And this is just a different way of real estate agents getting full commission, as well as the nonprofits that you love getting donation of real estate, and the philanthropist that wants to give that donation of real estate, the philanthropist gets the tax deduction. So if you want to know more about this, please connect with me, let me know. And you can also click the link that's in the chat so you could see a full version of this. We've been doing this since about, what time did we start? 9 o'clock California time. So we've been in about an hour and a half. Usually this goes about 2 hours, but that link I put down there should get you up to speed. And I appreciate you guys coming in the room, as always. It's always nice to see you guys. It's been a while. for both of you. I haven't seen you both in a while. And Don, you're in the mortgage field, so this would work great for you to connect with realtors that are doing this because they would be listing the property, and of course, you would have an in on when they were going to list it. So that would be really cool to have buyers that wanted to purchase those. And it doesn't have to be a nonprofit to purchase it. The nonprofit gets the money for the sale of. The realtor that's involved as a charitable gift or real estate specialist gets the commission, full commission, for selling the property. And then it's a win-win for everybody. So I'm excited about this. I've been doing this for about 3 months. And I've been connecting to a lot of nonprofits out there that I probably wouldn't have been able to. Of course, Clubhouse has been a big part of my business as well. But yeah, it's pretty exciting. It's revolutionary. We're looking to get 1% of the real estate population that wants to be part of this and to be part of our map. We have a map that shows all of our real agents of change out there and nonprofits. So you missed that part about the map, but it is in the video that I put into the chat window. So here, let me do this. Let me invite you guys to speak. So if you have any questions, feel free to come up and let's talk. Hey, Don.
Good morning, sir.
How are you, sir?
All right. Chatting here from LA as well.
Yep.
Good. Yes, I was interested when it has to do with nonprofits and housing. I try to share as much as I can with real estate agents who are communicating with people who, the elderly people out there who have homes, have no heirs, and nothing of that nature to look at donating these properties after their demise to nonprofits.
All right, here we go. I'm going to share screen.
Oops.
And
sorry about that. So let's go back to this and let's connect.
Section on
and click on the link, the YouTube I put in there. And then what we could do is we could talk further.
And champions. What does this whole thing mean?
I'm excited. Thank you, Don. I appreciate you.
Okay,
Sam. Here's the thing. When this class was created, it was created to certify charitable real estate specialists for realtors. We wanted to certify 1% of real estate agents. But over the last couple of years, we've learned that it's not just realtors, nonprofits, financial advisors, fundraisers, concerned community citizens, board members, etc. They want to take action and do something to help their causes and communities and their careers and companies. So instead of calling it the certification class, it has transformed into the master class so that everyone is welcome. And now people say, okay, now that we've learned what this is, what do we do with it? So we have 2 ways to participate with us. You can take this information and go do whatever you want with it. However, what we know is you do need the support. It's just like anything else. You need the support. So when we become a specialist in anything, frankly, it's all knowledge. It's all head stuff. So specialist as a charitable real estate specialist, you're highly skilled. You've just learned a lot that 99% of your marketplace and industry is not aware of. Guaranteed. They don't know what they don't know, just like you didn't know and just like I didn't know. You now possess more knowledge, more in-depth capability to have a conversation based on what you've learned. However, when we go from specialist to champion, you'll notice we got our Linda down here in the corner. A champion is someone who comes from the heart. These are people who actually fight for or speak for another person or in favor of a cause. They're the ones that will really do battle. for those that they say they're here to help. They're the ones that show up as number one in their community. They're champion. So specialists, the first key has already been unlocked for you. You learned what this is. To become a specialist, you can, let me go back. I thought I was going to show you the picture of the championship. So when you become a champion, you unlock these other 4 keys: the lead generation, the listing and liquidating, and the legacy listings. Let me just share my screen with you for a moment. Sorry, 1 second. Get out of that. I want to come over and show you on our website. This is where we talk about the specialist versus champion. By the way, this is where you can get the first free chapter of the book too. When people are specialists, you can come in here and click on this. Look, it's $400 for the year. You get certified. You have marketing that you can use. You come to some trainings 3 times a month with Realty Gift Funds, office hours. You can ask them anything. As you've met Bruce in the videos, everybody loves him. They've been doing this for dozens of years. They know exactly any ifs, ands, and buts about charitable gifts of real estate. You show up on, as you can see over here, the map where the specialists are featured. You can now leverage these different logos and things for your marketing. You get a copy of the book. You're an affiliate. You get a 10% referral fee as a charitable real estate specialist. Here's the difference between specialist and champion. When you become a champion, now you're getting customized marketing. You get your own landing page, this map that we talked about, the roadmap. You get that's customized, dozens of other things that are customized. We have this thing called a legacy launch pad, which actually explains to you who to talk to, what to say, how to say it. There are scripts in there. There's mindset. And even more importantly, as a champion, what's really important, besides getting a 25% referral fee for anyone that you bring to the group, now you're coming to the strategy calls once a week with me, extra training calls where we actually talk about how do you get this in front of people. We do a press release with you. We do interviews with you. We've got podcasts now that are live on LinkedIn Live, Facebook Live, YouTube Live that you can participate in. Frankly, you can all participate in them now. Love to interview you regardless. But if you're using this information to get in front of people, let's make sure that you know what to do with it. So just wanted to share with you what all of this looks like. Now, the champion package, if you look online, it shows that it's $3,000. It is not that price when you come through the masterclass. As a matter of fact, when you become a specialist, we let you upgrade to the champion package for $1,600. So in other words, it's a $2,000 all-inclusive. You can make payments. You can pay it all up front, whatever works for you. Remember, we do not sell this. We have no interest in selling anyone anything. We invite people to share in sharing this opportunity with the donors on your donor list, with the board members on your board, with the realtors all over the country to support your nonprofit, with the financial advisors that can support your real estate company. In other words, we have a lot of different ways to show that support. And we definitely want you to go over and take a look at what the specialist versus champion package looks like. I'm happy to answer a question or two now, but the next module that we're going to get into is right at 1:40. We're making great time. I want to take 5 minutes to give you a chance to go over and take a look at the specialist versus champion and decide what you want to do with that. because the next module, we're actually going to go through helping you to figure out who do you want to talk to, what are you going to say to them, how are you going to say it, how are you going to get this out to the world. Are there any questions right this red hot moment I can help you with? If not, I've actually gone over and queued up another video so that you can see another story. Hopefully internet will work with us this time.
Hey, Cammie, let me interrupt for a second. This is Jeff
Sure.
again.
Hi, Jeff.
How late do you expect to go today? How much longer?
Well, Jeff, we are done with the material, the knowledge material with the charitable real estate masterclass. We're done now. The next module is going to help you to learn how to leverage it and lead generate. So we're done. If you need to take off, if you want to stay around, learn how to lead generate, happy to have you for another 30 minutes or so.
Okay, wonderful. It's all great. Thank you.
Thanks. All right, I'm going to start sharing this video if it will let me. It is 1:42. I'm going to let this play for 5 minutes. It's longer than that, but in respect of time, go take a look on the website if you want to do that. If you want to become a champion, there's a woman who called me just before this broadcast and wants to become a champion. We can help you with that offline because it's not 3,000, it's 1,600. And we can help you with that. Just reach out, send me a message, and we'll help you. The real agents of change are always thrilled to hear about the different success stories, their Realty Gift Fund, our favorite specialized nonprofit, all those successes that they are having in the world, because every successful deal leads to proceeds and funds that go to the nonprofit world. Bruce, what story are we going to hear about today?
Let's talk about a single family home in Los Gatos, California. It's in the Silicon Valley. Interesting story for a few different reasons. We have a very close relationship with Fidelity Charitable, who, as you know, is the largest public charity in America. They process $9-10 billion worth of non-cash and cash donations into their donor advised fund pools every year. They have a complex assets team that will take boats, bitcoins, cars, art, and significantly the partial interests of businesses. That's a big part of what they do. And they do say that they take real estate, but they make it really clear that their acceptance policy is very thin on real estate. And the word that's starting to circulate is that they're really just sort of getting tired of real estate, but they can do it themselves. Now, like many other big nonprofits who do accept gifts of real estate, these nonprofits have a process that they put their donors through to evaluate the donor's goals and to evaluate the property itself and to fit everything within the box that they have created as an acceptance process. And so we happened to send an email over to one of our favorite people at Fidelity, just congratulating her on some achievement that she had. And she immediately wrote us back and said, hey, you can help us. We're stumped with one of our significant donors who has a time frame restriction. He had an appraisal on his property. It was about to expire. These appraisals, when you do a non-cash donation, have a shelf life of 60 days. And if you don't close the donation within that 60 days, you have to go out and redo the appraisal. And he did not want to do that. So they called us and said, we have a gentleman who's got a house in Los Gatos, California, Silicon Valley. He has 21 days left on his appraisal timeline. Can you help him out? We were introduced to him on a Friday. We put him under contract on Sunday. We met a broker on Monday to get the property listed. And so we had two things going on at one time. We were processing the donor's donation agreement, and we were starting the process of getting a listing agreement with a broker to sell the property, but we had to stay focused on him. He was our primary objective. He had 21 days to close this donation, or he was going to have to redo his appraisal. We got him closed in 17 days. We had to go to a title company, get a title report. We had to do an inspection. There were 3 inspections.
So one of the things you would have learned, or you will learn if you watch this on your own time, is when he's talking about that they needed to close within 17 days, a gift of real estate is a 2-step process. And I had to hear this about a dozen times to really wrap my head around it. But the first step is when the property is donated to the 501c3. That is what instigates the tax deduction for the donor. That is the charitable donation. The second step is when the property is liquidated and the cash goes to the nonprofit world. That is the charitable funding. Charitable donation, charitable funding. So when he talks about how they had 17 days to close, what he meant was they had 17 days to make the charitable donation with the appraisal that they currently had. That donor needed to have the donation accepted by a nonprofit. He had 17 days left to do it. And Fidelity Charitables, the largest nonprofit in this country, could not do it. So they leveraged a third party, credible expert who did get it off the hands within 17 days. Then they listed it with a realtor, sold it, and gave the proceeds after the sale. So, comments, questions, concerns here in the moment. I'm going to assume that all of you who are currently with us, that means you're ready to roll up your sleeves. As you'll notice, I took off my jacket and I put my hair up in a little bun because now it's time to get to work. Now it's time to really apply what you're learning. Any questions before we move on to that? Well, it is so good to see you. Wasn't your wife with you a couple months ago when you were in the class?
Yeah, she was. She's not here today. She's pretty busy.
Well, I'm glad to see you. Who can we help you with in this journey? Who is a nonprofit or a highly influential property owner that you'd like to talk to about this?
We're at the other end of the state in Connecticut from where Jeff is. We're up in Mystic, and I'm just 10 miles away from Rhode Island, so we're not too far from Westerly and the like. So there are people around here. I'm very involved with the Stonington Little League and a Boy Scout troop in Pawcatuck. And Bridget does a lot with Always Home, an organization that finds homes for the homeless. So, I mean, we've got different organizations that we'd like to support. She's just so busy. I assist her, and it's just tough to get her to sit down and watch something and stay with something like this. But I just try to keep in touch and see what's going on. I've gone through this class before, and I just like to listen to you and kind of stay up to date.
Well, thanks for being here. FYI, the Rolling with the Rock tour, our rig, we are heading up your way, and we are actually going to be in Atlantic City on June 26th for this VIP party with Kevin Bacon with this nonprofit called the Sound Mind Network, who was wanting to spread the word about charitable real estate. So we're coming up that way. And the last week of June 27th, just that whole week, we're going to be doing meetings in New York, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, PA, etc. So we're going to be up in your neck of the woods. Let's see about getting together And if you and your wife want to have a conversation about what it looks like to get in front of these folks, ultimately, guys, we want to interview all of you on the Real Agents of Change podcast, which shares the stories of the nonprofits and those they serve. You'll see tomorrow that there's one with a good friend of mine about nonprofits that she loves and how they would benefit from $550,000, which is the average donation of real estate. And then on Friday, we do the Real Estate is Hot, Fundraising is Not podcast, where we really roll up our sleeves about how do these transactions happen? Why are they risk-free for the nonprofits? How do the donors benefit? We are interviewing CPAs, attorneys, financial advisors, real estate people, et cetera, for that. So, all right, let me get over and share my screen, and we will do the last module, which is all about how, hold on, let me get rid of Bruce, 1 second.
Inspection.
Okay, here we go. All right, here's what's next. Here's how you leverage. Now, I was hot, and that's why I put my hair up, but I also was thinking, this is a great analogy. It's time to roll our sleeves up, put our hair up, and just get down to work. If you are sticking with us, that means that you want to lead generate. There is somebody somewhere that you care enough about that you want to help make a difference, and you want to make money. Well, guess what? That's not going to happen just by watching this video. It's going to happen by taking action. How are we going to take action? Well, first of all, let's create a list of people that we care enough about to let them know. Who are the people that we want to do business with? Who are the people that deserve to know what their options and opportunities are in the world? Please don't prejudge and try to figure out who would donate real estate. Remember Linda. Everyone knows a Linda. Linda was donating $25 a year for 32 years to that nonprofit. No one would have thought Linda would donate real estate. She was on a list of 300,000 donors. She would not have been at the top of the list. But no one knew what was speaking to her heart, or how many assets she owned, or what would be convenient for her. So here's the thing. Just make this list. Pick up a pen and a piece of paper and follow along. Because if you put down a name for every category that I bring up, and if every one of those people were to learn about this, there is a donation of real estate guaranteed. You just got to write them down. So for example, altruistic donors. Who do you know that donates $25 a year for 32 years because they love their nonprofit? Who do you know that is doing anything for the nonprofit world because they are heart-centered? God knows we all know someone. You wouldn't be here if you didn't know someone like that. Who do you know that's a numbers-focused donor? In other words, somebody that needs a tax deduction. Someone who maybe donates because it is an estate planning thing and they need a tax write-off. We all know somebody like that too. Who do you know that's a volunteer? That's always volunteering. You're always seeing them on social media, cleaning up the beach for Earth Day, right? Or helping out at the church. Don't worry about what you're going to say to them. Just write the name down. We call this the top 10 memory jogger list because you know 10 people that volunteer if you really thought about it. Some of these categories you might know one person. Some of these categories you might know 500. Past clients. Will and his wife Bridget up in Connecticut have got hundreds of past clients that are happy. They have past clients that when they walk in the door, They know they have animals and they love animals. They know that there's a flag hanging out next to their oceanfront property because they're a veteran. They know because they've got a cross hanging up in the house that they love their church. Your clients deserve to know about this. Realtors, if you're a nonprofit, you need to know realtors will help you find these donations because they get paid a full commission. If you're a realtor, you know realtors all over the country. And if you're with EXP or another company that wants to recruit and build a team, this is a brilliant way to start conversations with those people. So write down names of realtors that you know, even if you are a realtor, especially if you are a realtor. Because here's what we know: by 2025, there will be charitable real estate specialists, charitable real estate divisions in every state and every major city. And you can be getting referral fees based on all of these, or you can be watching it happen. Financial advisors. We all know at least one or two or three or five or 10. Some of them just sell life insurance. You know what? This is a fabulous way for them to sell a lot of life insurance. Just write them down. Don't worry about what you're going to say. We'll talk about that later. Property managers. We have a nonprofit on here who owns a property management company. Why would we write them down? Who better to know the property owners that are burnt out on their tenants' trash and toilets? They know the people that are always complaining about wanting to get rid of their property and tax problems, etc. Nonprofits, friends, if you're on here, you know at least one, if not 3 or 10 or 20. You can help all of them. And if you are a nonprofit, who are the nonprofits that you support and you partner with? The Haven here, who is in our book, Real Estate is Hot, Fundraising is Not, they are partnered with other groups like the autistic community. All these nonprofits that they know and love, they're coming to the book launch too. Influencers. Who do you know in your community that's an influencer? That every time you talk to somebody, they know Jessica Peterson or someone like that in your community. The influencers are the people that can introduce you around. They're the ones that can help spread the word about this. That influencer who loves animals or kids or the environment, when they find out about this, they're going to help you take legacy listings. Property owners, duh. Don't we all know somebody that owns property? Don't worry about would they donate it or not. That's not the question. The question is, do they deserve to know what their options are? Do they know other property owners? Probably. Centers of influence. Who are the 5 people that you spend the most time with? You know the old saying that whoever the 5 people are you spend the most time with, if you pooled all of their income together and divided it by 5, that's the income that you're making. Who are those centers of influence people? They deserve to know about this too. Oh boy, real estate related businesses, mortgage, title, landscaping, painters, stagers, realtors, home inspectors, appraisers. Friends, when we start talking about charitable gifts of real estate, there are so many ways to bring them in on the conversation. Mortgage people have a list of 5,000 realtors. When they share this with them, it helps the mortgage company. Plus, that title company, everyone who works there, one loves the church, one loves the veterans. Friends, just write them down. Animal lovers, who do you know that's always out walking their dog or posting videos of kittens or volunteering at the Humane Society? We all know somebody that loves animals. For God's sake, you had a warning at the beginning of this. You know the truth now. How could we possibly know people who love animals and not let them know that those animals, who are the least funded of all nonprofits, could be bringing in millions of dollars. Children's advocates, there's a whole cause marketing campaign around children's advocates. What if you're a realtor and you want to take more listings? Wouldn't it be awesome to be able to list the home of a family who's got 3 or 4 kids and they're in their first time home, but they're ready to sell that and buy to the next larger size because that fast growing family? Wouldn't it be great to get both of those transactions and maybe both sides of both transactions? Teach how to do that and champions. Environmentalists, who do you know that was posting about Earth Day, who is always on you about not using straws anymore, who is part of the conservatory? FYI, the Nature Conservancy actually takes gifts of real estate. They brought in $400 million already from selling gifts of real estate that they couldn't conserve. Senior care businesses, oh my God. The cancer groups, the Friends of Hospice, the Parkinson's, the Alzheimer's, the senior care businesses that sell glasses and hearing aids and dentures and walkers. There's a whole campaign right there. There's so many senior care specialists in real estate. Friends, this is how you help your community, you build your listings, you give back. Healthcare providers, doctors, nurses, they are always supporting breast cancer and amputees and I mean, you know, diabetes. They all have something that they're passionate about. Veterans, there's a whole campaign around veterans. Who are the veterans that you know? I didn't say the ones that own real estate that would donate it. I said, who do you know that's a veteran? See, these people all know people who need to know about this. Religious affiliations, 28%. 1 out of every $3 that's donated in this country is being donated to churches and religious affiliations. You know people that sit next to you in church. Universities, there are colleges in your marketplace that do not take real estate, that have donations of real estate in their alumni, and you can get paid to help them find them. People who love to recycle, they're all around us. They want to know about this. I guarantee you, everyone you know that recycles has a nonprofit that they love, that they give to, that they volunteer for, that they sit on committee meetings. We all know somebody who wants to change the world. I met a guy last year whose goal is to create world peace. We know them. They need to know about this. People who are talking about starting their own nonprofit. I meet them every week. People that are starting their own nonprofit. You see them post about it on social media. They talk about it at the pool parties. People who are healthy and talk about health, they're all about helping nonprofits too. And they sit on boards and committees and volunteer. They're also realtors and financial advisors, and they own title companies. They are attorneys. In other words, this is just to give us a way to think about people we've never thought of before. Who do you know that's retired? You know, now that we're traveling the country in this RV, every one of these RV resorts, 80% of the people here are retired. whether they live permanently in their RV or they're traveling part of the year or they just do it on the weekends. 80% are retired and they have property all over the country. They're traveling in an RV. They can give it away. Seniors, I mean, think about it. Who would donate real estate? People that are 60 years old and older. That's who. They're the ones that have acquired real estate. There are so many senior care realtors that need to know about this. Their clients need to know about it. When they're partnered with groups like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's, they can get more business that way. You know, the point of the memory jogger list is to think of people that you could talk to about this. So I'm just curious. Lori Levine, who did you put on your list that you have not talked to yet about charitable gifts of real estate? Are you still with us?
I'm here, Cami.
Do you think if anybody knew that you could bring this to their attention?
I haven't thought of anybody new. I have actually went out to speak to someone who owns a nonprofit. He's got a food pantry here in New Jersey. So really a lot of great things that he is doing. So I was able to speak to him yesterday.
So in this memory jogger list, if we write down one person per category, and maybe 3 in some categories, and maybe 100 in others. In other words, you know, past clients.
Mm-hmm.
You got at least 100 past clients, right? We all know a couple of people that are altruistic donors. You're a real estate agent. You have mortgage companies that you play with, etc. So it's just a way to start thinking about who are the people. So, for example, Lori, who do you like to do business with?
You know, I have a number of people, and now that you're saying that, it really is jogging my memory. There are a number of finance people, financing people that I'm working with. Title companies, you mentioned that as well. You know, I'm working with them too, and I think it'd be great to bring all of them, you know, onto this, because it's something that everyone needs to know about.
Well, we're going to be up in your area end of June, most of July.
Mm-hmm.
We could talk to you about putting together a gathering, whether it's in a room or on a Zoom. We're going to be doing all kinds of events up there. Matter of fact, in 2 weeks, we're doing an event at a title company in Clearwater, Florida. And the fact is, who knows the property owners in an area? You got your property management people, you got your title company. Title company knows everybody's dirty laundry. They know
exactly.
They know who's giving money to nonprofits out of their closing. They know who's bitching and complaining about the tax situation. They know the people who are getting rid of property because the tenants trash and toilets, or because the market's getting ready to crash. Now think about this, Lori and Sam and others that are on here. That look, title company knows who is selling their properties while the market's high and wanting to get out. Title company knows 500 realtors. No matter how sweet you are, you're nothing special compared to all the other realtors. They know them all. They do deals with all of them too. But when you're the only one in your market that goes to the title company and says, you know, Mary's always got a dog under her desk when I come in here, and Bill's got the American flag up in his office, and I see you guys are always doing a GoFundMe account. Did you know that we could all come together and actually fund this whole community and all the causes through gifts of real estate? Not only do they know the property owners that are getting out, not only do they know 500 other realtors that they can introduce you to if you're building a team, but wouldn't that be a great way to build relationship and rapport with them so that you are the realtor that they reach out to when somebody asks? So just a few things to think about. All right, I'm going to share a screen and we're going to finish this up. So our good friend, Dr. Russell James says, remember the 4 S's. Story, story, story. Stop talking. Stop trying to explain this to people. Stop confusing them. Do what you do best. Refer the rest. Lori is in New Jersey. Sam is in California. I was in real estate. Can you imagine having been 7 years out of real estate, being licensed in New Hampshire, with all I know about real estate, stepping into either one of your marketplaces, never used your MLS before, don't know what your listing agreements look like, have no clue what's going on in your market, and I show up and want to be the go-to listing agent? It's laughable. It's laughable. Do what you do best. What I do best is not list property in California or New Jersey. What I do best is explain how this works. And when somebody needs to list in one of those states, I bring it to you. So let's just share a story with people. A story like, the easiest way, I heard an interesting story last night. I heard an interesting story yesterday in a class I was on Zoom. What does that story look like? Could be the story of Linda. Hey, you know what? I heard this interesting story yesterday on this Zoom. There was this woman who loved her nonprofit so much that she donated real estate to them and they got a $39,000 check. Hey, Tom, because I heard this story, maybe we should see about getting your nonprofit funded that way. Hey, I heard a story yesterday on Zoom about how realtors are getting paid full commission all over the country to fund the nonprofits they love. I thought you'd find it interesting. Hey, I heard this story and I thought you'd find it interesting. In other words, what we're saying is people buy on emotion and they justify with logic. And the only thing people need to buy here is the desire to learn more. All we want people to say yes to is to learning more about how this works. So when you tell somebody, you know, when Tom reaches out to donors that are helping his nonprofit that deals with breast cancer survivors, he's already talking to donors all the time, whether he's holding a golf tournament or doing a bake sale or having some kind of fundraiser. Now he can simply say, you know what, Bill? I learned that donors like you are saving hundreds of thousands of dollars on taxes by giving smarter. And I thought you'd find it interesting. I learned a way that our nonprofit can grow 6 times the normal donations that we normally take in. So the point is, there was nothing in there about who takes title and how the whole thing works. Nobody really cares about that. Be clear, the only reason you guys are still here right now is because there is an emotional reason. Whether you want to be the best in your community and beat the competition, whether you want to fund nonprofits because you're called forth to do so, whether you want to support women with breast cancer so that they don't have to struggle like your mother did, you're here for emotional reasons. And we need to talk to people from that place of emotion. So I'm happy to, it's 2:15. I'm happy to hang out until 2:30 with any questions you folks have. If not, I'm also happy to bid you a farewell, let you know that you can invite people that you know to the rock.com/101. which when you go there, you can come live to the Wednesday at noon, or you can watch the recording or send people you know to the recording. The 101 is the charitable real estate overview, about 25-minute presentation, and then Q&A for people to kind of get their feet wet. Al, I'm curious of who you are. I haven't seen your pretty face yet or heard your voice. Would you like to introduce yourself and allow me to help you get funded or whatever it is you're here to do?
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
I can.
Yeah, no, I've been on your call before, and it's always been in the back of my mind. So I just wanted to learn more about it and see how I can, join and try to duplicate what you've been doing.
So what speaks to you? What brings you back?
There's a bunch of things actually. I think that whole that charitable real estate specialist niche, I think is huge. And I know a bunch of nonprofits in the area as well. So I think it's maybe a great new avenue to approach,
Where do you do business?
Massachusetts. I'm with EXP.
Are you building a team?
I haven't yet. I do have a small team, but that's my focus coming toward the end of this year. So I'd like to build it as we move forward. Yeah.
Are you looking to build your rev share, or what was your reason for joining EXP?
I've been in real estate for 25 years. So I used to work for Sotheby's, and I have a few friends in San Diego that own their own brokerage, and they were moving over to EXP. So I joined way back when there wasn't that many agents, and yeah, it's been great ever since. So.
Are you coming to the shareholder summit in Orlando?
I'm not doing that. Unfortunately, I won't be around.
We have a lot of EXP agents in the Rock, and so we're going to be having a gathering the Saturday before the festivities happen, and
that'd be fun.
Presence there and all that. Well, whether it's rev share and recruiting agents, or helping one nonprofit you love, or being the go-to in that area, the first thing to do is to become a specialist, so that we can get you certified and have you on the map and get you in to talk to Realty Gift Fund 3 times a month and ask them any detailed questions. But more importantly is the champion, so that we can get you some marketing material and you can start coming to the calls and get coached on this.
Yeah.
Really role playing, start talking about, because from my perspective, Al, I want you guys to bring in donations of real estate. I mean, after all, we want to give $1 billion a year to the nonprofits, and that's $50 million in commission. But I also, as a real estate person, knowing what it's like to knock on doors and make cold calls, expires and for sale by owner were my bread and butter. I know what it's like to make phone calls that are icky and salesy, and you pray they don't answer the phone because you just don't want to deal with it right now.
Yeah.
And with this, it's the complete opposite. I said on one of the last master classes, when I'm calling people that join the Facebook group, when I'm calling those people to invite them to the master class, and I see in the form that they fill it out that they love to help veterans, or it's their church that speaks to them, I'm excited to talk to them. I want to tell them how we can help their nonprofits. And when they don't answer the phone, I think, oh, I wanted to talk to them. So different than calling expireds. So, do yourself a favor. And if I can help you get started with the specialist or the champion, here, let me put my number in the side.
Appreciate it.
There you go. And here's my email.
Thank you. Yeah, you're originally from New Hampshire, right?
I am. That's where my real estate license is now. And full disclosure, my license, I haven't sold real estate probably 7 years, but last year I reactivated it under EXP because of all the relationships that we were building with them when I went down and met Gene Frederick in Puerto Rico and blah, blah, blah. So I will never sell real estate, and I may end up building a team because of this.
Yeah.
But right now it's just to build relationships with EXP.
Yeah, that's great. I think you're doing a great thing, and looking forward to signing on and moving forward with this. I think it's a great. It's not only a great business, but it really is a great cause as well. So.
Well, and you'll meet more people like Sam Silver here. I mean, he he gives 20%. I heard you, Sam. I heard you say 20% of your gross.
Mm-hmm.
Like he gives 20% before expenses. Are you kidding me right now? Like, if anybody deserves to make more money, it's somebody that's that generous in the community. So Sam has brought probably more nonprofits to the table than anybody else. He's got his own clubhouse where he speaks to people. So he's been very creative in how to leverage this. And so, yeah. Sam, are you coming to Orlando?
Unfortunately, I can't make it to Orlando. My goal is to actually make it to the Vegas one, to EXPCon, because that's close enough to me, and I could still bring my dog with me. That's the issue. She's a puppy, and she needs somebody to. She doesn't do anything for anybody else in this household except for me. So I kind of became the master. So I'm going to EXPCon, bringing her in the van, and probably staying at a timeshare or something up there.
Well, guys,
nice to meet you, Al.
Yeah, feel free to throw your information over in the chat and connect with one another. Al, if you're not part of the Facebook group, it's the Real Agents of Change Facebook group.
Okay.
And people like Sam are in the group, very friendly, very engaging. And we are actually creating a revolution here. It's not a movement anymore, it's a revolution. We are changing how nonprofits and real estate agents and just all of our communities and causes and companies come together and make money making a difference. Yeah. So on that note, guys, I'm going to take off. You got each other's names, reach out if you like. And don't forget that tomorrow on Wednesday, 12 noon Eastern, we do the Charitable Real Estate 101. So if there's someone that you know that needs to learn about this, here's the link. Send them, bring them, and don't hoard the blessing. See you tomorrow or when I see you. Bye.
Thank you so much. See ya.
All right, that was Real Estate Agents of Change. This was all about charitable gifts of real estate. Since 1917, there's been a tax code for charitable gifts of real estate to nonprofits. And this was the hour version of the workshop. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to text me, follow me, and I'm going to end this. You could click on that link above in the corner. And hold on, let me make sure that you're able to hear me. Okay, so you can click that link in the corner right here. And let me do this. I think it's this way. Right there. And that goes to my digital business card. Or don't hesitate to call me, samsilverhomes.com, samsilver.net, preferredrealty.net, and I have a few other domain names I own. But I look forward to talking to you soon. And if you have a nonprofit that you need supported, please reach out and let me know. You can also Google me. You can go googlesam.com. All my information's there also. So thank you so much for coming. And make sure that you come tomorrow for Charitable Gifts of Real Estate 101 at 9 o'clock. And I'll do what I can about recording that as well. Take care. Bye for now.